oh, I think my physique wasn't good. Like, no, that was not the problem. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am now caught up on Physical 100 on Netflix. I have a lot of thoughts about this show and I just wanted to share what I think about it so far ahead of the last 2 episodes coming out next week. So if you have not seen all the episodes, I'm just gonna blanket statement say it's not safe for you to watch this. I feel like the concept of the show just is not extremely logical. Maybe this is some kind of like translation error, and I'm also definitely thinking way too hard about this whole thing. All the contestants keep saying that, oh, the reasons that they don't win the challenges is because their physique is not good enough. And it's like, no, that's not why. There's a lot of like luck and strategies that go into every single quest and challenge as well. I really don't think that if you just didn't win or you didn't advance, you can say like, oh, it's just because my physique was not good enough. Like, if it was a show where it was like only about your physique, I think it would just be like really clear challenges. Everyone run 100 meters. The first half of people can advance and the second half don't. In cases like that, then I think the contestant can say like, oh, if I had trained more or run faster or I had longer legs, like those are issues with your physique that caused you to not win the challenge. But a lot of times in the quests, it's just like you got matched up against someone, or, you know, there's some like mental strategy. In terms of the quest 2, which was the death match, when you got to like choose your opponent and choose the arena, and then you within those 3 minutes had a lot of different like ways that you could go. When you lose in a quest like that, then you leave and in the confessional you're like, oh, I think my physique wasn't good. Like, no, that was not the problem. There's like a lot of other variables that go into it. I just really don't think that the premise of the show holds up when you think about it too much. Also, like, the physique does not equal ability. There's also a lot of challenges, for example, the hanging challenge and the one where you're like the extra quest where people were holding on to like 40% of their body weight. You could really tell in those challenges that it was more of a mental game. You just had to like not psych yourself out, or people kept saying like, oh, I just kept thinking about that other person, and if they can hold on, then I can hold on, and that sort of thing. It's really not just like your physical body that matters, but also like you as a competitor matters a lot. I mean, I'm pretty sure that everyone is just saying that because, you know, it's like the title of the show is like Physical 100, so people are just like, yeah, we brought the 100 people with really good physiques here, so they have to keep commenting about that. But yeah, that was just something that like bothered me every time that it came up, and it came up like a lot. Continuing on the point about like the mental ability, I actually thought it was really cool how much they talked about like the mentality of people inside the challenges. Like, they were always like, oh yeah, other people were looking down on our team, or they thought that we were weaker. So because of that, I tried like extra hard just to spite them. And ironically, I feel like the show kind of ended up proving that it's not only your physique that matters when you want to accomplish these physical goals. It's a lot about like your mindset and your motivation and attitude going into it too. Okay, next. Dude, I am convinced that Chu Sung-hoon was the main character of the show. You cannot prove me wrong. Everybody was so obsessed with him. I was starting to get obsessed with him, honestly. Do you know that TikTok audio where it was like, I slowly started to be seduced by him, like he started to seduce me. Yeah, this guy is just like dripping in Riz. Oh, at one of the team challenges, I was dying at the part where he was like, oh yeah, I optimize my team for like speed and agility, so if it's something like moving a lot of small balls where, you know, speed and agility matters, then our team's gonna be really good at it. And then guess what? They reveal the challenge and it's literally moving sand. I was like, how did he even, like, how did he predict the future like that? Producer Plant, main character, he is the center of Physical 100. Cha Hyun-sung, the guy that was also on Singles Inferno. Dude, I was dead at the part where even the other contestants commented that, oh, wasn't he on Singles Inferno and now he's on this show? Haha, he must be the son of Netflix or something. Like, that annoyed me because I was like, just because you guys noticed it and made a joke about it doesn't make the entire situation like still not weird. Personally, I just feel like there has to be like more than 100 people in Korea. Like, I don't know why you have to keep recasting the same guy. But at the flip side, I can understand that probably Netflix did it for like a little cross promotional moment. They were like, you know, if you're watching this show and you haven't seen Singles Inferno, probably it's like something that you should check out. But yeah, honestly, just kind of like a weird moment that threw me off. I was like, Honestly, I can't complain that much because this guy made it so far. Like, he was entertaining to watch too. I actually just like didn't think that he was going to get as far as he did. I actually thought that he was gonna get eliminated in the deathmatch one, and then I was like, okay, well, if he didn't get eliminated in that one, it's gonna be the next one. But he made it through that one too. They also brought up Squid Game a lot. We also have to talk about the torso situation. I would like to know what the torsos are made out of. My first thought was like porcelain, but I feel like most porcelain that I see is more like shiny and has like a glaze on it. These torsos looked very matte, but I was thinking it was porcelain because like the way that people hit it with the hammers or when it falls, like the way it shatters kind of seems like that. I thought it could also be some kind of like very brittle clay or something. Smashing it, by the way, always leaves such a huge mess. I kept looking at that and being like, dude, it must be so annoying to have to like clean it. They probably bring like an industrial vacuum between every single take to get like all of the pieces out. Also, maybe I would feel differently if I had a statue, I guess, of my own torso, but I also thought it was weird how every contestant was like, oh my god, I want to protect my torso so bad. Like, if I just saw a random statue of my own body part, I would think I would just be like freaked out by it. I don't know if I would feel like protective over it. So kind of unclear what's going on there. I think that's another thing where it's like, that's just the show theme. Like, everyone needs to get on board with it. Like, you can't not be on board with that if you want to be on the show. It was really interesting to me how they didn't really do that much separation between men and women, where they were just like, no, it's 100 people, like some are men, some are women. But it definitely came up as an issue like a couple of times. Or like, this team has 3 women, so on average they're just gonna be like weaker than a team of all 5 men. I feel like they took the right strategy by basically like not having the production team bring it up and put in like specific quotas and things like that, and just like trying to treat everyone equally. And then it was just like, you know, whatever happens, happens. I felt like that was probably the best way they could have gone about it without completely doing like physical 100 of like 100 women and physical 100 of like 100 men. It was also like a girl boss moment when the wrestler girl got to be one of the team leaders. I actually don't remember what the specific instructions were for choosing the team leaders, because it's like, well, if it's just, oh, I'm gonna choose people that I want to be on a team with, then sure, maybe it should be like 90% men. But if it was the case of like, oh, I am just gonna vote for the top leaders or like people that I would want to lead a team, and basically like looking at raw leadership ability, then yeah, that should not be gender exclusive. In that case, having a 90-10 split is kind of awkward. Also, I don't even know out of 100 like what percentage was women and what percentage was men. It was definitely not 50-50. But whatever percentage the general population was, that should have been like the same split in terms of team leaders, if it was based only on leadership skill. Yo, the Greek mythology theme challenges was such a vibe. I don't know how they came up with that, but I think that was like such a cool idea. How they all just like started calling the Atlas thing a straight up punishment, because yes, in the myth it was a punishment. A lot of those things were punishments, or like stories about how someone went too far out of their way and then like needed to be punished. Out of all of them, the Ouroboros one was actually like a really cool spin on it. Like, for example, the Atlas challenge, that's like literally the original story. It's just like you gotta hold a huge rock. I mean, that was like exactly the challenge. So but the Ouroboros, like, it's a snake that eats its own tail, so the way that they translated that into running, I thought was like very cool. The Atlas challenge, I can't even imagine standing with that huge rock for 2 hours. Oh my god, that's actually insane. I was literally sitting on my sofa watching it on TV, and I was like, I was even shocked when they said it had been 36 minutes. I was like, dude, this whole challenge is gonna take like 15 minutes. I just didn't think that was Also, we have to talk about the rocks. Like between the Atlas challenge and I forgot the name, but the one where they're rolling the thing up and down the hill, those rocks, where did the production team get these rocks? Because they're clearly like made, or I don't know if they like put out bids for these rocks, because it's like they're clearly made by someone because they're pretty much like perfectly spherical and round, but then they decided to put these like indents in them and then make the surface of the rock like kind of textured, stuff like that. I just want to know who like designed the rocks and just hear about like why they designed the rocks that way, because I don't know, I was just looking at the rocks and being like, why are they like that? I would like to know. Then another thing was that like when it got to the 5th quest, when they actually had to break out of the specific teams that they had been doing in the last couple quests, I thought it was so interesting how people were like, oh, even if I don't win, I want someone from my team to win, because it like showed how close people got in the last couple of team quests and stuff. If everyone was trying to maximize their chance of getting the prize, when it got to the individual quest, they should have like turned off that like team mentality type of thing and just been like, I'm going to just like try to get the quest that I think I will personally be best at. But actually like a lot of people were just saying like, oh, I think that my teammate is gonna have the best chance of winning that specific game, so I'm gonna let them do that game and then I'll just take this other game and like basically kind of forfeit / lose. Honestly, that was like pretty cute. I feel like when you watch a lot of these American competition shows, they're always like, I'm looking out for myself, like I'm here to win. Even when it's not this kind of stakes, it's just like, I don't know, The Bachelorette or something, the most common thing you hear is, I'm not here to make friends. So actually very cute that everyone here was like, I'm here to make friends. And I like love getting to hang out and challenge all of these people who are also like very into fitness and at the top of their game. Overall, basically like kind of unexpectedly wholesome show. I basically watched all of the episodes that were out in the last like couple of days, and I caught up just in time right before the finale, so thought I would just like share what I think about it so far. But if you guys have thoughts or comments, would love to hear them as well. Like and subscribe if you want. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.